In the following slides, I'd like to present and explain the three-layer method used in our language courses. The idea behind the structure and success of our courses is not just to develop students' linguistic skills, but to really teach them to communicate with people from different cultures. Obviously, learning a language is not enough to complete the task of international communication, as speaking to someone in a different language to ours has a different culture to ours, and this is why we want to underline the importance of intercultural communication. Based on the many years of experience we've had with collaboration with many companies and individuals from different countries and cultures, we put together the three-layer method and experimented with it until we were satisfied with its overall benefits. The three-layer method takes its name from these three layers it's made up of. The first is the so-called Lego concept, which is all about the content. The second level is the process, and third level is the technology applied. The first layer is the Lego concept, but what does that mean? Learning a language involves different elements or different bricks, the end result being success in communication. Linguistic skills have always been the base element towards learning a language, and this involves written and oral expression and comprehension, grammar, pronunciation, and so forth. These are considered the classic elements of language learning. Moving on from that, we look at how students apply what linguistic skills they know and develop them into functional skills, which help them to adapt to work situations such as the language of telephoning, presentations, meetings, and so on. A further development from this still is the essential element of cross-cultural skills. A person who speaks in a different language will invariably have gestures, intonation, and ways of reacting that are different from ours. Effective intercultural communication depends on the understanding of these differences. All these elements together, with proper commitment, result in what we regard as good communication. The second layer is the process. Obviously, at the start of any course, it is important to look at the needs analysis and set clear objectives for the course depending on the student. At that point, we set the lesson cycle. How this works is we start the lesson setting clear objectives so the student knows what he or she is going to do before the start. At that point, from course books, we introduce new material. Then, through study and role plays and simulation, we have a practice of the new material. Towards the end of the lesson, we review the objectives that were set at the start of the lesson so we can check off what has been studied. Obviously, lesson by lesson, excluding the first lesson, it's important to have a link to and follow up from the last lesson. At the middle of any course, it's important to have a mid-course test and feedback and review the objectives that were set at the start of the course. Naturally, these may need to change depending on the student's needs. After that point, we repeat the lesson cycle until we come to the final course test, feedback for the whole course, and the review of the objectives that were set. The third and final layer is the technology. Nowadays, technology is a fundamental part of language learning, and the more tools we have available, the better we can meet the specific needs of the students. What we essentially want to create by having the following technology and methods is a kind of linguistic one-stop shop. So students have the opportunity not only to match the means to their requirements, but also to even try out different methods beyond what they may see as conventional. The channels of technology are face-to-face, which are lessons in a designated place, voice-to-voice, lessons via telephone, e-learning using the internet, and we also have blended courses in which these previous channels can be integrated to give the students the highest possibility to reach and exceed their goals. And there we have the three-layer method. One of these layers alone is, in our experience, not enough to reach students' goals, but all three layers together can assure effective intercultural communication.